Yeah, let me turn it this way. Alright, I got the VOGELZANG. I don't know the model number because I don't feel like looking it up. But I was getting an E2 error code, so this is for an E2 clean out. Did some research and found two compartments. Okay, they're over here, and I'm going to go around the other side. There's a door. Goes here with a seal on it. Okay, and it goes right here on the side. I'm going to get on the side with more light. That's your hot air chamber that blows the hot air out your vents through your fan. It's got dual fans. Okay, there's one here and one on the other side. One's for your intake, air intake. Okay, your air mixture right there. And this one's the hot air, but this is chamber. This is the hot air chamber right here where that door is. Where am I? Okay, so let me go around the other side. I haven't done this in 3 years. I clean the pot and do all the vacuuming and everything weekly. Sometimes every 2-3 days, depending on what type of pellets you got. If you got really crap pellets that burn like shit, they create a lot of ash, and that also has to do with your air mixture. But really, the biggest thing is your freaking pellets. So anyway, check this out, man. So I take these covers off over a 3-year period that we've had the stove, right? I just found out about it. This shit gets packed with soot. At first, I thought it was an insulated powder, like a asbestos, but not, obviously not asbestos. I can't use it anymore. But some kind of maybe volcanic or some kind of compound to act as a heat sink, So what I did was, on the other side, I cleaned it all out, started the stove up, and sure enough, I could feel a suction through there. All right, which means that that's an air chamber, and this is just clogging it up. That's all soot. You got to get a small line on your vacuum that all out, and the E2 should go away. I didn't test it yet, but if not, maybe I got something else wrong, but that's a start. And from what I understand, that is a cause. So I'm going to vacuum all this crap out of here. It goes up inside. And not only that, this will stop your air circulation to getting to your exhaust vent, the hot air vent. So it's the fines that pellets create. So I doubt very much it's an insulator. When you do take this off, they didn't put this gasket on right, whoever put it on at factory. But when you do take this off, make sure you don't rip the gasket. Be very ginger. What I did was, you could get a metal scraper, but all I had was available for me right now. I didn't want to go out into the garage. Was this chisel, and it's a sharp chisel, but I just gingerly went beyond in the back of the gasket, pulled the plate and worked it, and just it pops off because there's no adhesive. It's just like a fireproof vinyl plate, a gasket rather, rubber gasket of some sort. So obviously fire resistant, temperature gasket. Comes off with 2 screws, goes right there on the side, and you just got to open up these panels. Take the screws off back here. There's 3 of them. Then you have to take the panel from the vents. I'll show you. From these vents, you kind of grab it and lift up because it's tucked behind here. It's got to go up and then out on the bottom and then down and backwards. So to the back, up, and then down. That'll get that off. All right. I hope that helps. There's not much information on maintenance on these VOGELZANGs except for what we got. And while you're in here, vacuum everything out, which I'm going to do. Vacuum the fans out, clean the contacts. Oh, and by the way, unplug your stove. Don't do any of this stuff when it's plugged in, unless you're needing to do that and you know about electric and all, which I do. So, good luck. I think that'll do it. Look at all that soot in there, man. That's 3 years worth, and I got to vacuum it out yet, so there's more in there. Later. Hope this helps. That's the VOGELZANG, which is a good stove, man. It heats up. We got a about a 900 square foot basement, and it'll get nice and toasty. We had, I think it was 8 below zero about a month and a half ago, and it got it nice and warm in here. So that's not even on the high setting. So now it's going to blow even better because I'm cleaning out that darn hot air duct, which is what that is. Alright guys, later. Hope this helps. Alright, this is the second half. I cleaned out the side heating ducts. This runs the hot air up to here. I'm splicing these videos together, so it's the first half of the video. I don't have my E2 code no more. It's running. Okay, got a nice flame going in there. It's on low. And as you can see, it's still going through its thermal settings. As soon as those lights start blinking, then the big fan will come on. But I'm already getting exhaust. That whole exhaust channel, here, let me back up. This whole exhaust channel goes like this. Comes through the fan in the back, comes up. Actually, it's coming up this way, but I got the light on this side. So it comes up through this vent. Here's your exhaust fan. Comes up through the vent. The fan on the other side comes up through the vent. Blows your hot air out over here. Same thing on this side, comes up. So it's like the air register. And that over time, you still have some soot, I guess, that gets in that. And I haven't cleaned it for 3 years. I clean the actual stove and everything naturally once a week or twice a week. But that part, you have to take the side panels off and all, and then remove these. Like I said in the beginning of the video, be careful of that gasket. It's a sponge kind of rubber thermal gasket, and it comes off, and that is caked with soot. Very, very fine soot, all the way up to here. Okay, and that causes the E2 sensor, which is over here. Okay, get some light. And there's your E2 sensor right here. Okay, and this whole thing, this chamber here, this hot air chamber, that's your hot air that heats that place up. That gets to the point where it's going to throw an E2 and shut the stove down. It won't even light. So I couldn't believe how much stuff came out of there, even for 3 years. But so you got to check that every 3 years, or check it every year. I'll be doing that more often. And I tell you right now, man, now the lights are blinking. I was wondering why that's so nice hot air coming out. I haven't had this much flow of hot air. Before I was able to feel it. I had to put my hand here to feel it. Now my hand's burning. The stove was on low. If I crank this thing up to high, man, it's unbelievable. It's never worked that good. I was wondering why this basement here, because it's just a basement, and it's the only heat source, wasn't getting as warm as it used to when I first got the stove, when I first installed it. So anyway, luckily this house had a coal burner in it, and what I did was I've hooked these stoves up a bunch of times, different ones, and just run a flue. I used to do fireplaces years ago. It's not a very big operation. That pipe is expensive. But anyway, she's running smooth now, man. Yep, that was the key right there. Oh, and by the way, cleaning this glass, it gets full of soot. Open it up. I use a cheap oven cleaner. You don't have to buy the good stuff. Spray it on there. I sprayed a gasket and everything. Eventually I have to change that gasket, but it's just basic from Lowe's. Turn this a little bit. Basic oven cleaner. Then you go to your wood stove store and buy this glass conditioner. Okay, and this stuff works good. It'll keep that glass nice, fairly clean, so you can at least see the flame for at least a week or two. I let it build up till it turns black. Then I go ahead and I'll do this every month. I'll clean the oven cleaner, which is my idea, and they say not to do it, but it works fine, and it cleans all that soot, just melts right away. I put a rag down on the ground here. I open the door, rag down, let it all drip, and then I get a dry rag, clean it all up nice. It comes out just great. Then you put this stuff on, right? And like you're waxing your car, and you know, put enough of it on there, and then let it dry for about 20 minutes, and then just buff it, and it'll keep that soot off there for a little while. But I imagine now that I got this airflow going, that soot's not going to build up, because we had some really bad pellets. It's all up to what good, if you get good quality hard stock pellets, but we got them from Tractor Supply. I wasn't very happy with them this year. They switched the supplier, and now they switched back, but my pipe was all jammed up with soot too, so it wasn't burning. And I clean this at the beginning of every year, and that's all I need to do. And it was jammed, so I vacuumed all that out. Being that this was a coal burning chimney, it's got probably a 12-inch flue in there, maybe even more. I think it's 14 by 14. So this little 4-inch pipe going into that big flue, we get a really good updraft, and I don't have to clean the chimney that often. So that chimney's spotless still. It's plenty of airflow. And man, I can't believe the hot air coming out of this thing. I got the freaking door open because the house smoked up. And believe it or not, this house, it was full of smoke in here because it backed up and it shut itself down. I come downstairs, the whole place was full of smoke. So I had to lift these windows, put a fan in that window, or took it out since. And yep, and there's the smoke detector that I tested last week. Brand new battery, didn't even go off. So don't buy the piece of shit smoke detectors. I guess that was a cheap one. They don't work very good. And I had to let the dogs out in the yard because they're freaking, I didn't want to smoke them out. They were like, what the hell's going on, man? So they're out in the yard now. Anyway, that's how you fix the E2 problem on the Volgelzang. And not only that, it fixed the E4. E4, I believe, is just another cleaning, airflow. It's an airflow error, but check me on that. And you have to adjust your airflow accordingly back here. See that? That goes directly into underneath the pot and allows your airflow to come in. If you have that too high, you're going to get ash. If you have it too low, you're going to get a low flame and cold, so which will muck up the pot. Anyway, that's enough of this video. Talk to you guys later. Hope that helps. Oh, and by the way, I'm not selling that shit for anybody. It just happens to be products I buy. So later. But if the Rutland people want to send me a little complimentary advertising check, I'm not against it at all. Same thing goes for the heavy-duty oven cleaner people. So later.